side 2, part 2 of Brave from Marillion. What an amazing album cover that is. I didn't talk about that the first time. It reminds me of a film called The Crow, which starred Brendan Lee in it as this sort of anti-hero, superhero type character. He sort of had this very sort of white, washed out face with heavy black makeup on, a very, very sort of stark goth looking thing. Well, this kind of has that same look, but this is it's really iconic album cover. This really iconic. Of all the Marillion records, this is the one which is probably the most. Oh wow, amazing! It really, really sort of if you saw that on the shelf alongside all the others, this would really stand out, wouldn't it? It really would. It's a very, very, very good piece of art. Now we have what looks like 2 tracks on here. The first one is made up of multiple parts. So we have Goodbye to All. No, sorry, Goodbye to All That, Wave, Mad, The Opium Den, The Slide, and Standing in the Swing. And then the second track, if indeed that's how this is working, is Hard as Love. Now, I don't know if there'll be any gap between the individual pieces of that first one, but it hasn't got an overall name, so it's just lots of parts. I don't know how that kind of works, but it's one overarching piece made up of lots of little parts. Now, I didn't actually show you also the first time round the inside of this. So we've got various band photos and production notes and stuff. And we also have, of course, the inner sleeves have all the lyrics on them. Now, the first side, when I was listening to this, I didn't have my glasses with me, so I couldn't actually. I was trying very hard to sort of read what was on here, but I couldn't read them at all, and I gave up in the end. However, I have just popped indoors, got a cup of coffee, and got my glasses. So if I feel the need to follow along, I can do so. Right, let's crack on. More music, please. 3, 2, 1. Love that reverb and delay on his voice. Talking of the Crow, I recognise that. Is The Great Escape on here?
Hold your breath.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Till you feel it begin.
That sounds a little bit like Mike Oldfield. That doesn't now, though. Wave. Most of his drumming is good on here, isn't it? is such a rich sound. This is the sound of a band firing on all cylinders. Uber impressive. This is so good. It's like sort of Genesis vibes with this. The soundscapes on here are superb, absolutely sublime.
Just let my ghost with me. It's as simple as that. So tell me I'm right. Roll me up, breathe me in. Come to my madness. Come to my madness. Make sense of it again. Make a drug of my senses. I'll get you out of your head.
Okay, I missed a track altogether there. I think we're onto the slide.
I'm sick of you.
Or maybe this track is called Goodbye to All That, and it's made up of Wave, Mad, The Opium Den,
Brilliant.
The Slide, and Standing in the Swing. That makes more sense.
Waste us together. Pulls us together. Holds us together. Folds us together. Flowers.
sonically so beautiful. This is such an ambitious record. It really is. It's sort of so much to listen to hear. It's difficult to sort of say on a first listen to, but this sounds really. I mean, like those sort of big classic 70s concept albums.
I don't know what you're doing here when there's murder on the street. I appreciate your concern, but don't waste your time on me.
It does remind me a little bit of not how it sounds, but some of the ways it sort of ebbs and flows of Animals by Pink Floyd.
You think you came here just in time, but you're 20 years too late. You won't have long to wait.
It's too much to try and take in on a first listen. I don't know if I can do the lyrics as well as the music. This is just... Oh my god.
Well, I hear that you were looking out to hunt me down, and I guess you're used to having everything you want. But you know the look at me is hard to sticks and stones.
Get in.
Tell you nothing else could be as hard as love can. Well, I hear you got my number and you want my name. I'm screaming out some crosses in your RAF. But you know the look at me is hard as algebra. Baby, nothing else has ever been as hard. makes you hungry and it makes you high, makes you suffer and it makes you cry, but it's all worthwhile. It makes you humble and it makes you fall, makes you tremble and it makes you fall, but it's all worthwhile. It's all makes you desperate and it makes you dream, makes you dangerous and it makes you scream, but it's all worthwhile, just like back and smile.
Hear organ very often in Marillion. This rocks well, doesn't it? Wowzers. This is a very different sounding Marillion. This is just, they're so on fire. I'm not saying that they're not normally, I don't mean that, but this is a really, I don't know, the ambition of this sound and the confidence. It just drips, oozes confidence. This is just sensational. My goodness, what a band. I said it early on I can't remember if it was on this video or on the previous one, that this just sounds like a band that is firing on all cylinders. That this came out in 1994. Yeah, it did. So it was right at the, as I say, at the ascendancy of the whole sort of Brit rock, Brit pop thing. The cool Britannia, and if you're not in the UK, you probably don't really know what that means. But it was we had a new Labour government. There was a sort of air of confidence and bullishness about everything. Football, there was culture, the music, the film, and politics. Everything was just sort of just everyone was confident and sort of thought things were good, and this is such a different sound for what was essentially going on. It was 3-4 minutes snappy rock pop songs that ruled the charts, and it was just, this was the absolute opposite end of the spectrum. This is just, but had this come out 10 years later or 10 years earlier, it could have been a massive, maybe it was a massive record. It just, I was not aware of it before I started this Marillion journey. But I'm rambling and talking. I said I wasn't going to do that because we need to move on to the next video. But there's just, this band, Marillion. There's so much more of this band to discover. I've got loads of records to go yet. And each one I do is just sort of, it's opening up more and more possibilities and stuff. When they play live, I've seen them live. They did the whole of An Hour Before It's Dark. Have they ever played this front to back as a live odyssey? This is the Brave show. You're going to hear the whole of this album, because I think that'd be amazing, because obviously this is all meant to be heard together. And I know The Great Escape is played in their sets, and that's part of this album. But have they ever, and do they ever, would they ever again play this live? Because I'd love to see that. I think it'd be brilliant. And this is sort of really, I mean, this is such a great album, from a, not just from a sort of a sonic and sound point of view, but just from the execution of it as a concept album. It sits happily shoulder to shoulder with things like Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall, for example. It's not that sound, because this is 20 something years later, but it has the same ambition and sensibilities and overall overarching concept for a double rate. It's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Look, I'm talking and rambling far too much because we have more music to listen to. Now, I'm going to move on to the next video. I'll see you guys on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. And until then, this very much is Jim, over and